This is a quick video on how to draw your own Baby Yoda. First, you need some good sketch paper. I recommend the Canson brand Artist Series Universal Sketch Paper. It's very reasonably priced and you can find it in various different sizes, and it's a good weight for pencil and charcoal, which is what I'm using for this drawing. So, you're going to need a good pencil. This has pretty good lead in it. You can buy artist grade pencils. A good brand is General Pencil. They have great charcoal and regular pencils, and you'll need, I like to use HB for most of my work, and you're going to need black, like super black pencil of some kind. A pencil crayon is what I recommend, but you can also get charcoal pencils or carbon pencils. They are also really nice and black, and you get them in various weights. It doesn't really matter that much, but the less soft they are, the more it won't like be as powdery. So it's and you can do much more detailed work with a harder pencil. So it's up to you. It's best to experiment and see which one works best for you. And yeah, let's get started. So to draw Baby Yoda, you look at his general shape, and you just very lightly, in the beginning, you're just lightly sketching. Do not stress out. Don't try to draw everything all at once. Concentrate on one part of the overall picture first. So first you're gonna just look at his head and see the overall shape of his head. And the overall shape of his head is that it's slight, kind of like a jujube shape, jujube, I think that's what you call them, like a wine gum, sort of those old jujube shapes. And this is his cheek area. This is the top of his head. And then we're going to go for his ears like that. They're slightly off in this picture that I'm using a photo reference. There's nothing wrong with using a photo reference. Absolutely nothing, especially when you're first learning to draw. There's nothing wrong with it. So I highly recommend you use a photo reference. And drawing is all about practice. Just practice. You just keep doing drawings. So just kind of work on your drawing, and you see the silhouette, the shapes, the overall shape of your drawing, or of your photo reference. Later on, when you are more confident with your shapes and how they work and lighting and all that, you can generally start to try and draw freehand, and you don't need to use a photo reference as much. But generally, most artists, they all use photo references. If they want to do a certain drawing, they usually use several photo references. And this with each successive, like for instance, they'll use a photo reference for lighting, or they'll use a photo reference for just like different positions of the body, and then they kind of combine them. But that's later. That's later. Right now, we're just concentrating on getting his overall shape. And when you're happy, because it's all about modifying it and reworking it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just be confident. Use guides if you'd like. Just don't press hard. Don't press hard, because it's much easier to erase when you don't press hard. And notice the distance. Like I will take, for instance, I'll say, okay, well, his eyebrows are approximately here, or his brow bone is approximately here. And his eye shape is approximately here. And it's about half an inch or so away from the sides of his face. And his eyeball kind of comes up. It's like it's not quite an almond shape. You know, and I think that the reason why Baby Yoda is so cute is that he's not perfect looking, you know? He's not the CG, like the fact that they did not use a CG version of him and they used a puppet. The puppet had to be handmade, and the handmade nature of this creature is the fact that it is why it's so cute. It's not perfect. It's got one eye is slightly smaller than the other, as you can see. And, you know, nothing is really symmetrical on him. He's kind of not symmetrical. And he has a little tiny button nose, which is looks to be about the same distance away from his eyes, like the same height as his eyes. And it's round, like a ovally round, not too round, almost a slight oval. And then you can go in and just start kind of shading. I know that some people like to overall just kind of put in all the rough shapes first. I kind of do everything at once. It's really up to you. That's my style. I like to kind of look at overall everything at once. This is an important part because his distance from his the bottom of his nose to the top of his lip is pretty important because this part is slightly more than like a human. And then it's this really cute expression on his little mouth. He has the cutest little mouth. So you're just trying to capture expression. And, you know, he's not symmetrical. That's what makes him so appealing. Another thing is it doesn't have to be completely photorealistic. Like, you're not trying to capture absolute perfection, obsessive perfectionism. You know, it's not like that. You're trying to capture his likeness, your own spin on what you think he looks like. If you look at my drawings, they don't look exactly the same, but you know right away it's the creature, or it's Yoda, Baby Yoda, because I've captured his expression or his overall look. That's what you're trying to capture. Don't be afraid to use an eraser. There's nothing wrong with using an eraser. It will not detract, or I would suggest using a good quality eraser, that's for sure, because a good quality eraser will erase very quickly without damaging the paper. I really like this brand, the Staedtler brand. It's just a basic eraser. And I like it because it can sort of function a lot like a soft, what do you call those? Moldable erasers. And also do the same, like it has the same erasing power as like a rubber eraser. It's like kind of in between the two. So that's why I like this one. A kneaded eraser, sorry. I don't really use a kneaded eraser. I don't find I need it because I have this one. It does pretty much everything I need it to. If I want it to blend something, it can. And if I want it to erase something completely, it can do that too. So that's the eraser I recommend. But, you know, experiment and see which products you like the best. So, You can see he's got little bump thingies up here. And I think I made his head a little too... If you look at the picture, the distance from here to here is less than what I have. His head is more like about here. Something like that. Oops. So I'm going to erase because it gives me a better reference. Also, in order to convey that this is lit here, we're not going to really put a lot of... It's very, very light here because all the light is coming down this way. This is the picture of when he is on the cart that he's riding away in it, and he's saying goodbye to the people in the episode 4, Sanctuary. That's the scene, and he's being carted away by the Mandalorian to go to another adventure, because everyone is hunting him, because he is a very, very important character. He's a very, very wanted bounty. All right, I think that's a little better. Yeah. So there and here, I would say here. Okay, so now, once you've kind of established where his features are, we start shading. Now, shading is more like sculpting. If you really, really want to up your drawing skills, I highly, highly suggest to try getting some clay and then just working with the clay and trying to make whatever it is, like make your own version of Baby Yoda or whatever character that you want. Just so it really, really helps with learning how something works, or depth perception in 3D. So as you work with clay, you gain these, your brain starts working in a way that helps you draw better. And it really helps you draw better. Like, you will notice how much better you can draw after working with clay. It doesn't even have to be clay. It can be anything that you sculpt. Like a lot of people like needle felting too. Like, it's working with raw wool, wool roving. And that will also help as well. So now, when you're at this point, really, this is all it is. This is all it is. It's laying out all the things in the right place and putting all the basic shapes in the right place. Where you are happy and where it makes a likeness, or it looks like what you're trying to draw. The rest is sculpting your drawing. You're sculpting it. You're literally sculpting it. You are not really shading it. You are making it look like a 3D object. And that is all about looking at the different values. Values are... like, you're not looking at the color. Don't look at the color yet. Right now you're just concentrating on values. How dark something is opposed to how light something is. So the light is coming from here. All of this side of the face, most of this side of the face, right around here, is very light colored and maybe not even shaded whatsoever. The light comes down. His ear gives like an umbrella effect. So it's going to be dark here, because that's how the light is hitting it. So this is all going to be shaded. And you just kind of work your way like you're working with clay. You're just kind of shading it, making it look the way you want it to look. Okay, so that's all it is. That's all you're doing. So I'm just going to work on this a little more and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been working on the drawing for a little while now, and this is probably around half an hour of work. And it's just basically working and shading in and forming the 3D-ness of the face. So my tip to you for shading is always to work very lightly and just build up. And you use very small circles and you just let the lead kind of work its way into the paper. You know, it's a very meticulous way of shading. Yes, I definitely agree that it's very meticulous, but you get the best results and you won't get that lead shine that you get when you press really hard with lead. That's not good with pencil. Like, it looks much better and you'll get a nicer result if you just use small circles and you just build it up. To get this effect of the soft hair, what I did was I would make a line, very light line, and then I take my eraser and then lightly erase it, and then I would just scrumple with my pencil and just make tiny hairs. And that's how you get the fine looking hairs on the ears and the head area. So what I would do with this drawing, I would continue to work on it, and I would see the shading from the picture and try to copy it in my drawing. And I just keep building and building. And eventually you'll get to, you'll see as you work on it, it will turn out to be something that you really, really like. My other tip to get it to really jump out is definitely contrast. And contrast is what brings a drawing to life. Right now, I don't have that. I have the deepest value that a pencil can get is like a very dark gray, as you can see in the eye area right here. If you want that to really pop out, you take your carbon pencil or charcoal or something that's very dark black. The blackest pencil you can find. You can use a pencil crayon. You can use, I don't like pencil crayon because it gives like this shine, whereas pencil or carbon or charcoal will be very matte and very dark. So it takes away the most light, right? That's the whole point of using black. You want the light not to bounce off of it. So, and you just kind of use it in the darkest parts of your drawing. And this, well, I have to sharpen it, but you can see right away that it's already bringing this picture to life, or this sketch to a much deeper kind of, it really, really makes it pop. And that's the secret, really. That's the secret to a great sketch, a realistic sketch. The darks and the lights. If you use a gray tone paper or a tan tone paper, you can buy sketch paper that's already toned. You can really make it pop by using also a white pencil. And these carbon pencils, they come in white as well. So there you go. Yeah, so those are my secrets, really. I don't have any other. It's just working away at it, being meticulous and looking at the overall shape. The overall sketch itself is not the big deal. That's easy. It's the shading that really brings it to life. So that's what brings realism to life. So good luck, and I hope that this video was helpful. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell button. I'm sure you know about all that. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.